Apple Studio Display is by no means a new device. In fact, it's been around for over a year and a half, and when it was first announced, it was actually met with quite a bit of resistance. If you just bought one or thinking about purchasing the Apple Studio Display and you're worried about the potential for buyer's remorse, then this video is for you. My opinion towards this display has shifted pretty drastically over the last 7 or 8 months or so, and I want to share with you some of what my experience has been like so far, the differences between this 5K monitor and some of the 4K monitors on the market, what I think about the overall material and build design, the panel quality, and some of the things that I just think could be improved upon for the next generation. When shopping for a new display, there's a few different things that I try to take into consideration. Pricing and budget, of course, being the largest, panel quality, specs, and then compatibility and intended use. Outside of already having a good idea that this monitor would, be the most compatible for me and the work that I'd be using it for, seeing that I'm already using a MacBook, I really wanted a panel that I not only knew could do it all, but do it well, and knew that it was going to be reliable. And then of course there's the aesthetics. You know the old saying, if you look good, you feel good, and if you feel good, you perform good. And I think that comparison can be applied for your work environment. An integral part at the center of the space that I'm trying to create that encourages my best work is my display monitor. And in my opinion, from a real clean, minimalistic look that still encompasses modern, state-of-the-art aspects, none do it better than the Studio Display. The monitor's enclosure is built from a high-quality aluminum and can be configured with a Visa mount option, a height and tilt adjustable stand, or just a tilt adjustable stand, which is the option that I chose to go with. Along with being the most cost-effective, I thought this one would work best for me and my setup and keep a consistent theme with the iMac that sits next to it. Both this one and the Visa mount option come in at $15.99, and the height adjustable stand retails for $19.99. Now it is important to note that currently the only way to change from one style of stand to another or to the Visa mount option is through the Genius Bar at your local Apple store or through an authorized retailer that has the ability to order the parts. Now of course you will be charged for material and labor, so it is important you try to do as much research as possible, ensuring you get the right one from the start. The last element of customization that you'll need to choose between is whether or not you want to add the nano texture glass. Now this will add $300 to your purchase, but it does give you some benefit. If you work in a really bright workplace, or maybe you have a window directly behind you, it does give you the ability to scatter light further distances that'll minimize glare on your screen. The Studio Display is a 5K monitor that's capable of delivering a high level of amazing detail with a pixel density of 218 pixels per inch. Right from the first time using it, you can really tell how vibrant and rich the colors are, and it stands out even more when you compare it to standard displays. The P3 wide color support ensures that every hue is rendered and accurate, making it an ideal choice for tasks that, need that little extra attention to detail, such as graphic design or video editing. And by no means am I the best, but that's exactly what I'll be using it for. This is a 60Hz panel, which I think is, pretty much standard for a 5K monitor. Anything more than that, and you're looking at adding to, an already expensive device. It does achieve a max brightness of up to 600 nits and has a contrast ratio of 1000 to 1. And from some of the research that I was able to do, that does seem like it's really kind of on the lower end for a monitor in this price range. So it will have a little less depth than some of the other options out there, but it's still not bad. With external displays, there's always going to be trade-offs to be made. Of course, with the large 4K monitor, it's going to be a whole lot easier to achieve 120 Hz. But honestly, I don't believe that that's what monitors like the Apple Studio or any other high-end monitor are necessarily trying to accomplish. And I don't think anyone's going to be buying the Studio Display to use as a gaming monitor anytime soon. The 5K definitely gives you a little bit of a sharper image, especially the closer you are to the monitor. For example, in my workflow, I'm normally sitting somewhere between 18 to 24 inches away from the monitor, and the little fine details are super clear and really distinct. But the further you sit away from the monitor, the less of the sharpness you notice, and some of those fine details seem to fade. As mentioned earlier, I talked about how well the build quality was of the studio display and highlighted its primary advantage, knowing that it'll function seamlessly. Now, truth be told, some of the other components of the studio display have been so reliable that I was actually able to ditch my external speakers and stop using my iPhone to run continuity camera during video calls. The webcam on the studio display does exactly what it's designed to do, nothing more and nothing less. It features a 12 megapixel sensor that uses center stage to give you a 122-degree field of view. The camera and microphone quality are pretty standard and basically comparable to what you get in your MacBook. Now, I never really understood how important center stage was until I started working and taking Zoom calls from home. Mainly because I tend to move around a lot in my chair, and the camera will just follow me around anywhere I go. What makes this possible is the A13 Bionic that's powering it. And not only this, but also spatial audio. And the spatial audio on this display monitor uses 4 force-canceling woofers and 2 high-performance tweeters that produce a surprisingly high-end result. The bass is deep, the audio is clear and distinct with, very little distortion. And having such a good audio system built right into the monitor has also afforded me the luxury of clearing out a little clutter on my desk by being able to get rid of some of those external speakers that took up more real estate on my desk than I had really ever noticed in the past. Now, are the built-in speakers and the webcam better than some of the external ones that you can buy? No, absolutely not. But they are good enough, and they give you that convenience factor. Knowing that I can, quickly just plug in my MacBook and solely rely on the existing components instead of having to manage all those external devices and ensuring everything works correctly has proven to be a real stress saver. So what about you guys? Are any of you currently using the studio display? If so, I'd, love to hear what your thoughts are, or, what your experience has been like. And if you stumbled onto this video because, you're possibly in the market to pick one up yourself, I'll make sure to leave a few links down in the description that'll point you in the right direction. But before I let you go, I did want to recommend checking out some other sellers or even possibly getting a refurbished one if you're, looking to get it for a cheaper price and save a couple $100 in the process. For example, the one that I have here I picked up for $1,200, and I believe that's the same price that Apple sells them on their refurbished site. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.